Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be focusing on how newer players and I guess older players and, relatively experienced players, medium-ish players, all kinds of players can basically put together loadouts for quite cheap and put down damn near any Chad in the game with just a shot or two. So I've been very much I don't know what's going on. I think there's just been a big influx of new players to Tarkov recently, but I've been getting requested in the comments. I've been requested in my Twitch chat and stuff. So today I'm just going to make another video where I show you guys guns that I think are great for putting down really geared boys, and also on a serious budget. Because I asked you guys before for a bunch of likes on the video, it actually pushed it in the algorithm. It got a lot more views, it got a lot more attention, and we got a lot more ad revenue from it. So I'm going to ask you guys for that support once again, because we are moving to Texas very soon. And any little bit of extra cash that we can get together from the old YouTube ad revenue gods above that still monetize my videos, I would very, very much appreciate it. So guys, if you could hit like for me, I'd appreciate it. If you enjoy the video, maybe consider subscribing, leave a comment down below. And with all of that shite being said, lads, let's get into it and let me show you some Chad slaying loadouts. Here is the first gun that we're going to be taking a look at, lads. This is the Ketter. Now, why is the Ketter such a good gun for killing Chads, you might ask? Well, it's because Chads can't protect their legs. And this is what we're primarily going to be focusing on here with the Ketter. So, lads, the Ketter, or the Big Daddy Clin, which actually has a slightly higher fire rate but looks very much the same. You can run these either suppressed or non-suppressed. It's up to you, whatever you happen to have laying around. This is actually a Ketter that I got on a scav run, so as you can see, it's at 45 out of 52 overall, maximum 100 durability. So this thing is screwed. Now, what would this be a good gun for, might you ask? Well, maybe if you watched my previous video on the shoreline farming guide with no keys, you could actually just take this gun with you as a little throwaway kit. And if you run into a Chad, all you want to do is hold an angle. As soon as you see that man's legs, you're going to burr an entire mag into them and they will fall over. So it doesn't really matter what ammo you put into this. Look up the ammo chart, find out which of the ammo types has the highest flesh damage that is available to you, because it's going to be different for everybody, whether you're level 1, level 2, level 3, or level 4 traders with Purpore. So lads, do not sleep on the Ketter or the Clin, okay? This gun is an absolute demon. You can find it on scav runs, and you can find it very commonly in your PMC runs, as scavs tend to run them quite a lot. You can also purchase them from the traders as well. One thing that I will recommend is that if you happen to get 30 round magazines for this, those are very, very spicy rounds. So there it is for my #1 Chad Slayer suggestion, the Ketter and the Clin respectively. And coming in at suggestion #2, one of the most slept on guns these days, which actually used to be one of the meta weapons back in the day for Escape from Tarkov. This is the OPSKS. Now, the one exception I will make about this gun is you should run this thing suppressed. Now, why would you want to run it suppressed? Well, if you see a Chad off in the distance, you don't want that guy to turn around with his mutant, with his freaking voodoo on it, and just absolutely spray you down. You want to keep him guessing on where you are. So using that suppressor will oftentimes, in medium to long range fights, absolutely keep you alive, because the longer it takes for your foe to find you, the longer you can stay alive and the longer you can pummel him with PS rounds. Yes, I said PS rounds, lads. PS is a very, very strong ammo type in Tarkov, and I would absolutely recommend you run it in your SKSs, especially if you don't have any BP or you can't afford to run BP. Lads, PS does the job. Just make sure, and I swear to God, this is the one thing about this gun that I always see people do very much wrong. Lads, this little SKS internal mag, right? Get rid of that. Run a 20 rounder, okay? Bring two 20 rounders with you. Do not run the internal mags, because when you have to reload the internal mags, you are like a dead duck. You're just sitting there, like, wait until you get the 20 rounders or find 20 rounders and run those. Now, as far as optics are concerned, if you're going to do a CQP map or CQB map, you're going to use the Dovetail with the OKP7, or if it's a longer range map, you're going to grab the good old PSO. PSO is a fantastic optic. It does a great job, and it's just, you don't really need anything else. Yeah, lads, it's really unnecessary. If you're going to be running a budget gun like this, budget scope, job done, easy peasy. So there you have it. And lads, because in one of my last videos where I put together Chad slaying loadouts, I didn't mention the Vepr Hunter, everybody got very upset with me. So here it is. Honorable mention, Vepr Hunter. Very, very simple, lads. You grab one of these, you put M80s in it, and then all you're going to do is you're either going to put a PSO on it, or you're going to go ahead and put an OKP, or you're going to put like whatever optic of choice on it, and then you don't have to do anything else. You don't need to suppress it. You don't need to do anything else. The only thing I would recommend is, if you can get them, put 10 rounders in it. The 10 rounders make this gun a lot more effective, as the 5 rounders, you know, you run out of ammo pretty quick, and if you're spamming up close and you miss a couple of your shots, you might be dead in the water. So here it is, lads. I'm mentioning it. Vepr Hunter with either M80s, or if you have them, put M62s in it. Hell, if you have M993s, whatever the better ammo you can put into this gun, the more effective it's going to be. And it's also dirt cheap, and you can get them on scavs all the time. This gun right here can do all of the content in the game. It all just depends on your skill level and I guess how you play out the rounds. But if you're a low level and you're looking to pop some chads and you like hitting headshots, this is one of the better guns to do it with. And while we're on the topic of, I guess, 308 weapons, we also have to mention the RFB. RFB is a fantastic option, very cheap. Again, lads, whatever optic you want, you can put a suppressor on it if you like. I haven't even used this gun on this reset account yet, so I've got some of the parts aren't examined. But lads, the RFB, the reason why I like it over the Vepr Hunter is because you can actually put 20 round magazines into it, and you can also put 30 round magazines into it, which makes this gun an absolute powerhouse. You can put, you know, a grip on it. The only bad thing about it is you can't put a flashlight or a laser on it, so that is one of the drawbacks. However, you know, it makes up for it by having some great scope options. So, you know, you could do something like this, and then you've got your long range shooter board and heaven gun, Chad Slayer, you name it. You put, again, you put M80s into it, M61s, M62s, M993s, whatever you have available. But M80s, lads, they absolutely do the job, and this gun will have no problem dropping any chads you come across in the game. And it is also fairly cheap as well. This is on the more expensive side of things from guns we've looked at so far, but this gun is absolutely fantastic at getting the job done. Now, lads, I know what you're asking yourself, okay? Why is the SCARH on this list? Well, I'm going to put this out there, guys. If you happen to run Lighthouse and you kill some rogues and you happen to get some heavy scars, okay? Do not mod this thing anything other than ergonomics. So all you're going to want to do is, you know, get your best compensators and all that other kind of stuff and just slap those on there. And then you're going to put a nice high-powered scope on it, and you're going to keep the gun on semi-automatic, and you're going to use this as basically a sniper rifle. Because I found with the SCARH, if you try and full auto people from anything past point blank distance, you're really not going to get much done. It has a very, very like erratic spray. If you mod it completely for like full-on recoil reduction, you can manage it, but I would recommend just grabbing yourself a nice scope, whichever one you happen to enjoy running yourself, and then use this gun as a DMR. Now, the reason why this is on the budget list is because there's actually some very cheap options here for high ergonomic grips, and you can just put whatever compensator on it that you can afford at the time, and then using this as a DMR and just tapping it is actually a really effective way of killing people. So if you happen to be running Lighthouse a lot and you've come across some rogues and you happen to pick up some SCARHs, I know a lot of people just vendor these guns. I'd actually highly recommend keeping them and using them for DMRs. So there you have it. Little pro tip of the day. Now, I do mention this in a lot of my videos, but guys, I really do have a serious soft spot for the RPK. Now, every time I got my hands on an RPK, when I ended up resetting my account, I would pretty much just run it very similarly to this, just with the PWS on it with an RK0 or whatever grip that you happen to have available for you, whether you want more recoil reduction or more ergonomics. It is completely up to you. But lads, you don't really have to mod this thing. You put the PWS CQB on there, you put a scope on there or like a 1X of your choice, and then you just run it like this. You do not need to go ham with the RPK. You can put a flashlight on it if you like, but lads, this right here is one of the best guns in Tarkov. Now, I know everybody's like, but 545 sucks. Guys, if you just put like PP in there, or you happen to get your hands on some BT or BP, you can run this and be very, very effective with it. As far as killing chads, this might not be the greatest option for it. If you happen to get some Eaglenik or BS or something like that, you can run it. But I think the RPK definitely deserves some love, and it can definitely drop some chads. However, you might not have that stopping power if they do have an Alton on or something like that. But I just saw it pop up on the gun list there, and I thought I need to mention this gun. Because every time I see people running RPKs, you have the big long one with the buffer adapter and, you know, the big stock and, you know, the RK2 and like suppressor and all this other stuff. You don't need to run it like that. You can run the RPK super cheap. The gun is still a beam and it'll do all the content in the game for you. And it can kill chads if you get the drop on them, but it depends on your ammo type. So lads, don't be sleeping on the RPK, okay? And guys, here we have it. This is going to be the final gun on the list. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. the B&T MP9N 9x19 submachine gun. Lads, this gun is not only a blast, but it is also one of the best budget guns in Escape from Tarkov. You will never be able to convince me otherwise. This gun is an absolute demon. You put whatever optic you want on there. You got the 30 round mags on there. That is all you need. Now, there is one other part to this recipe that makes this gun one of the best CQB to medium-ish range Chad killers in the game. All right. So all we're going to do is we're going to back out of here. We're going to ignore how much money I have in my stash. I don't want to talk about it. And we're going to go to the flea market and we're going to type in RIP. We're going to go here to 9x19 RIP rounds. Lads, they're a little bit expensive right now, but this guy's selling 108 rounds. That's going to cost you 63k. That is 3 mags, which is more than what you need to put down a Chad. These RIP rounds are so disgustingly overpowered when you shoot people in the legs. Literally 3-4 bullets into a leg and someone's dead. You spray across their legs, you hit 3 or 4 or 5 rounds out of your 30 rounder, they are dead. They will slip and fall like there was a negligent, you know, spill of water. Nobody put a wet floor sign down in the supermarket. They fell and now they're trying to sue, but they can't because they're fucking dead. So lads, 9x19 RIP rounds in the MP9N. You can pick them up on the flea market. I have found them for a lot cheaper than 590 rubles. You just have to check the flea market every now and again and try and find cheap deals. But guys, I tell you, if you haven't lived, lads, you haven't lived until you have watched a Chad fall over shooting them with 9x19 rips. So guys, there you have it. Those are a couple of my favorite, I guess, budget Chad slaying loadouts. Most of the guns on this list are going to be just piss cheap from traders, from the flea market. Even if you go to the flea market and you buy ones that are kind of lowish HP and you kind of want to risk whether you're getting a jam or not, you know, and it'll save you 10-15k here and there, that will add up over time. So lads, shout outs to that one dude in Twitch chat who asked me for this video, and I hope that it helps you guys. So if it did, make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite Chad slaying gun in Tarkov is on a budget. And guys, I will see you dudes on the next video. Peace out, my dudes.